Welcome you all. Myself Jisna, M.Tech student of IS College of Engineering. Now we are going to discuss about consolidation characteristics of soil. Let's begin with the term compressibility of soil. Compressibility characteristics of soil forms one of the most important parameter required in design consideration. That is, if we are plan to construct a building over a soil, first we need to know about the soil condition as well as about the structure to be built. The various parameters like compaction, consolidation, water content, shear strength will affect the properties of soil. Hence, it is necessary to know about these parameters. Compressibility is the gradual decrease in the volume of soil under the application of load. That means when a soil mass is loaded, its volume will decreases. It can be caused by the following reasons. First, deformation of soil particles. Second, relocation of soil particles, that is, under the application of loads, the particles will be shifting from one place to another. And third case, expulsion of water or air from voids present in the soil. And this compression of soil layers may lead to settlement. Settlement of a structure is the vertical downward movement due to volume decrease of the soil. Next, move on to compressibility chart. Compaction and consolidation are the two phenomena of compressibility. That is, in both cases, volume of soil is decreasing under the application of load. First, move on. We will discuss about compaction. It's an instantaneous process under loading, and it is caused by expulsion of pore air from the voids present in the soil. Whereas compressibility in terms of consolidation is a time dependent process. It is mainly due to expulsion of pore water present in the voids of soil. This consolidation is divided into primary consolidation and secondary consolidation. That means both process, that is consolidation and compaction, leads to decrease in the volume under the application of a load. Then move on to consolidation. Consolidation is the compression of a saturated soil under a steady static pressure. Saturated soil means if the soil containing voids is completely filled with water, such a soil is called saturated soil. That means if a soil mass, that is a saturated soil, is loaded, its volume will be decreased due to expulsion of water from the soil. According to Carl Terzaghi, consolidation is any process which involves decrease in the water content of a saturated soil without replacement of water by air. Consolidation being a time dependent process, it can cause settlement of soil. That means consolidation can take place over a long time in the case of clay, that means cohesive soil. But in the case of sand, that is a cohesionless soil, consolidation takes place quickly. Mostly, this consolidation occurs in saturated soil. This process leads to reduction in soil volume due to soil particles shifted from one position by rolling and sliding. And this causes readjustment of the particles. Next, let's check out the difference between compaction and consolidation. Compaction is the process by which expulsion of pore air is removed, whereas in consolidation, expulsion of pore water takes place. Compaction is an instantaneous process, whereas consolidation is a time-dependent process under static loading. Convection can be applicable to cohesive as well as in cohesionless soil, that is in the case of sand or clay, whereas consolidation can be applicable only to cohesive soil. Compaction is a quick process and it causes increase in the density of soil, whereas consolidation is a slow process and it also causes increase in the dry density of soil. In the case of compaction, there is no change in water content, but in the case of consolidation, expulsion of water is taking place, therefore there is a change in water content of soil. Compaction is an artificial process, where consolidation is a natural process under static loading. The figure shows the compaction and consolidation process of soil. Figure 2a shows the compaction of soil, where the three-phase system of the soil is reduced. That means under the application of load, the amount of air in the three-phase system is reduced, which causes compaction of soil. In figure 2b, consolidation of soil taking place. Under the application of load, some water is expelled out. Due to this, volume is decreasing. Next, move on to another topic, stage of consolidation. The consolidation of soil deposit can be divided into three stages. Here come first the initial consolidation, second primary consolidation, and third one secondary consolidation. Initial consolidation. Initial consolidation means it's a reduction in volume of soil just after the application of load. This consolidation is due to expulsion of air only, and it is caused by elastic deformation, and here there is no change in moisture content because only air is expelling out. Next, primary consolidation. This consolidation takes soon after initial consolidation. Here it is due to expulsion of water from the voids. When a load is applied to the soil, that load is taken up by the water present in the voids. Thus, an hydraulic gradient is developed which causes the water to be expelled out. If you are looking in the case of fine grains, primary consolidation will occur over a long time, whereas in the case of coarse grain soil, primary consolidation occurs quickly due to high permeability, because if there is a high permeability, water will seep out very fast at a faster rate. Therefore, consolidation will be higher. Then secondary consolidation. Secondary consolidation occurs after primary consolidation. This is due to the additional reduction in the volume, and it occurs in saturated cohesive soil as a result of plastic readjustment. Plastic readjustment means shifting of particles from the original position by rolling or sliding to another position. Due to this process, secondary consolidation is taking place, and reduction of volume will be at a very slow rate. The graph shows deformation and time log scale, in which the three stages of consolidation are plotted. With increasing time, the deformation of the soil is reduced to some extent. Then move on to spring analogy for primary consolidation. Terzaghi explained the mechanism for finding primary consolidation. For this, He used spring analogy theorem using a spring dashpot model. The spring dashpot model consists of a cylinder with spring, a piston and a valve. It is shown in the figure 4. Here the spring is compared to a soil grains and dashboard with soil voids. The valve represents here is a drainage phase. Okay, when we look in the figure, we can see a cylinder, the spring used for steady, piston, regulating valve and outlet pipe. Before testing, the initial length of the spring was 100 mm and the stiffness of the spring was 10 mm per Newton. First, initially the container is filled with completely with water. That means that cylinder is completely filled with water and the valve is closed. Here the test is conducted at two conditions. First one, under the valve is closed, and second condition, the valve at open condition. Now a load P is applied to the piston when the valve is at closed condition. Say a load of 1 kN is applying on the piston. At that stage, the water resists the applied load. That is, the load acting on the piston is fully taken up by the water, not spring. That is PS equal to 0. That load taken by the soil is 0. Load taken by the spring is 0 and load taken by the water is equal to 1. That means total load P equal to 1. And second condition, that is valve is opened. When valve is open, the water starts to drain out and the spring shortens, because when we gradually open the valve, the water will expels out from the cylinder. As a result, the load from the piston is carried by the spring, not water. Gradually, there is a reduction in the length of spring. Say, first, before conducting the test, the initial length of the spring was 100 mm. Now it has reduced to 90 mm. Now the load on the spring will be 1 and load on the water will be equal to 0. Therefore, total load P will be equal to PS. Here, the spring alone resists the applied load when the load is increasing. This condition is called full dissipation of. This condition indicates full dissipation of excess water pressure. When we repeat the step by increasing the load increment to 2 kN, the spring will take up the load gradually and length of the spring will be reduced to some extent. Thus, at the final end, when we repeat the procedure, the spring will be taken entirely the load provided on it. Figure 5 represents the various conditions used in the study. The first condition represents initial condition, that is the cylinder fully filled with water. Second condition indicates the valve at closed condition and the load P is applying. The third condition implies the valve is opened and load is applying. At that time, the load is taken up by the spring, whereas in the case 2, the load is at a closed condition, load is taken up by the water. And the figure 4 indicates that when load is increased, the spring gets reduced to some extent due to increment in load. Next, move on to factors affecting consolidation. The factors which affect the consolidation are thickness of clay layer. Thickness of clay layer will decrease the rate of consolidation. Number of drainage path. If there are more number of drainage path, the water will seeps out quickly and therefore consolidation will takes place more faster. And the point, coefficient of permeability. If permeability of a soil is high, there will be high seepage flow. Hence, there will be a rapid rate of consolidation. Next point, compressibility. Greater compressibility leads to greater decrease in void space of a soil. Final, magnitude of the consolidating pressure and its distribution. That means if a soil mass is subjected to a higher magnitude load, consolidation factor will be higher. Next, cause for consolidation. The major causes for consolidation are lowering of groundwater table due to static load from the structures, or self weight of fields, or due to desiccation of soil. Let's move on to consolidation test. Consolidation test is conducted in laboratory to study the consolidation property of soil. It is used to determine the rate and magnitude of soil consolidation. It is usually applied to cohesive soil to find the consolidation behavior. The apparatus used for the test is called consolidometer or odometer. The figure shows the consolidation apparatus. Next, test apparatus. Consolidation cell the atypical odometer test consists of consolidation cell for placing the clay specimen, loading frame, consolidation ring, a reservoir for providing water, porous stone, dial gauge for measuring settlement, and a stopwatch. The figure 7 shows the consolidation cell used for the study. Moving on to procedure. The procedure starts by finding the mass of empty consolidation ring and noting its weight as M1. Then it is polished using grease or oil to avoid friction. Then the prepared clay specimen is placed into the consolidation ring and note the mass as M2. A small quantity of this prepared specimen is used to determine the water content of soil. We have to choose, before placing the specimen into the consolidation ring, we have to choose a correct size of porous stone. Specimen is placed between these two porous stones followed by loading cap. Then we have to place this consolidation cell into the loading device and then it is attached with a dial gauge. There will be a reservoir attached with the consolidation apparatus. This reservoir will be filled with water and we are applying a seating load of 5 kN per meter square in order to reach a moisture equilibrium in 24 hours. Then apply a load increment and take corresponding deformation readings at 0.25, 0.50, 1, 2, 4, 8, 30, 60 minutes and even after 24 hours. On completion of final loading, unload the specimen with pressure decrements which decrease the load 1/4 the previous load. Take dial gauge reading during each stage of unloading. The figure shows the consolidation test apparatus and application of load above the top cap. A dial gauge is fixed on the consolidation ring and a reservoir for storing water which is provided to the cell. Next, calculations. By conducting this test, we can tabulate the following: height of solid, void ratio, coefficient of consolidation, coefficient of compressibility and coefficient of permeability, which will be discussed. First, test result from the consolidation test. Dial gauge reading, time plot. For sand, change in thickness occurs quickly due to high permeability. A plot is made between dial gauge and time. We can show the character of clay as well as sand in the figure 9a. For sand, due to high permeability, consolidation takes quickly, whereas in clay, consolidation takes over a long time. This dial gauge reading time plot is used to determine coefficient of consolidation, Cc. Next, move on to final void ratio versus effective stress plot. This plot is made to determine magnitude of consolidation settlement. As sand is less compressible, the change in void ratio will be very small. Moving to another result, final void ratio versus log sigma plot. The slope of the curve decreases with increasing effective stress. That means the curve formed in figure 10, that is final void ratio versus sigma plot, shows the virgin compression curve, and the slope of that curve is known as coefficient of compressibility. Moving to another result, unloading and reloading plot. From this plot we can see at y-axis void ratio is plotted and in x-axis effective pressure is plotted. The point AB in the plot shows that the soil specimen which have been already experienced some pressure, and it also indicates decrease in the void ratio of the soil. And the point B to C indicates that when a load is applied to the soil, there will be a change in the void ratio as well as in the compressibility of the soil. That is, compressibility will be increasing due to application of load. The point D to C, C to D indicates the reloading curve. Unloading curve. That means the applied load is removed, which causes expansion of soil to some extent up to a point D. It is not fully recovering up to A. It is recovering only up to a point D. Then again we are applying a load to the soil specimen which causes the curve D to extend to F. The point FG on the curve indicates that it is a normally consolidated soil. That means the curve AC shows a loading curve, CD shows a unloading curve or expansion or swelling curve, DC shows a reloading or recompression curve. Next, consolidation parameters. The height of solid method. The equivalent height of solid is determined from the dry mass of the soil. That is, height of the solid can be found from volume of solid by cross-sectional area. Next, change in void ratio. The final void ratio corresponding to swelling conditions after the load when removed can be determined from water content and specific gravity using equation E is equal to Wg. Or if we want to find the void ratio correspond to intermediate loading stages, we can find by equation E equal to V by Vs, that is total volume by total volume of solids. Then move on to recompression index. Recompression index is a compression of a soil which has already been loaded and unloaded. Recompression index is noted as CR, which is equal to minus delta E by log 10 sigma plus delta sigma by sigma. The load during recompression curve is less than load to which the soil has been subjected previously. Expansion index. The expansion index, also known as swelling index, is the slope of the plot obtained during unloading curve, and it can be found by as per the equation given below. Expansion index is smaller than the compression index. Next, coefficient of compressibility. The coefficient of compressibility is defined as decrease in void ratio per unit increase in effective stress. That is, when we look into the plot of effective stress versus void ratio, a virgin compression curve is formed. That slope of the curve is known as coefficient of compressibility, and it is denoted as AV. The unit of AV is meter square per kilonewton, and it is formed by AV equal to change in void ratio by change in effective stress. Next, coefficient of volume change. The coefficient of volume change is defined as the volumetric strain per unit increase in effective stress. It is denoted as MV, which is equal to minus delta V by V0, that is change in volume by delta sigma. Delta sigma is the effective stress. Then compression index. Compression index CC is the slope of the linear portion of void ratio versus log plot, as it was discussed earlier in the graph, and it can be found by equations Cc equal to minus delta E by log 10 sigma 0 plus delta sigma by sigma 0. And compression index for undisturbed soil and remote soil can be determined by separate equations. Then move on to type of clay deposits. First one, over consolidated clay. Over consolidated clay means the clay has been experienced maximum pressure in its past. Due to that pressure, it will be less compressible and more stable. Over consolidation ratio, which is expressed as OCR. It is the highest stress experienced by the soil to the current stress, or it is the ratio of maximum applied effective stress in the past to the present applied effective stress. The maximum effective past pressure is called pre-consolidation pressure. For over-consolidated soil or clay, the value of OCR will be greater than 1. The graph shows void ratio versus log P curve, log sigma curve, which indicates our consolidated soil. Then move on to normally consolidated soil. If the present effective burden pressure in the deposit is maximum pressure, it's the maximum pressure that the soil was subjected to in the past. That is means that this soil has never experienced maximum pressure in its past. That means it is highly compressible and its settlement rate will be higher. The over-consolidation ratio value for normally consolidated soil will be 1. The graph shows a plot between void ratio and log P. Log P indicates effective stress, which indicates a straight line. Shows the normally consolidated clay. Then under consolidated clay. This deposit has not reached equilibrium under the overburden loads. These are all about types of clays. Thank you.